All right, it looks like we are live. I'm doing this a little bit differently. I'm actually viewing the chat from my phone while I'm streaming from my computer, just so you don't see my face. So we'll wait till people start watching, and we'll go from there. Looks like we got our first viewer. We got Fire Alarms of Southwest Alabama. Looks like you're here. Um, so this is just, a chance to ask questions, as the stream title is indicated. So as you can see, I'm not showing my face this time just because last time, people at school found it and recognized me. So from now on, I don't show my face, and that's why my first stream is unlisted now. So yeah, ask away. And for right now, let's try to stay on topic. So, fire alarm related question. Owen Weber. Oh, yeah, I don't play guitar. I do play drums. I'm practicing some new skills with that. Um, I'm working on my roles specifically right now. Hey Jake, how's it going? Fire alarm guy 13. Good to see you. So as you can see, it's a live stream. Feel free to ask any questions, pretty much. Um, I hope you guys can hear me. Actually, let me know if you can hear me. I'm talking pretty softly, so. There we are. Now I can see the ugly mass speaker strobe. So we know Jake's here on the right account now. Thank you, Fire Alarms of Southwest Alabama. Good to hear that you guys can hear me. So I'll keep talking about this level. All right. You guys feel free to ask away. Fire alarm guy 13. Even I don't know the model number of that mass, so I doubt Jake knows it. But yes, I do believe it's pretty rare. You don't see him very much. I have not watched the basketball game. I don't even think it notified me. I'm not one. I'm the type of person who subscribes but then doesn't hit the bell button, just because my notifications go off constantly. So you should watch it. LOL. Maybe I will. We'll see. Oh, and that smoke alarm is in my eBay pile. I've got like 20 smoke alarms all in the box, and one of them seems to have a low battery, and I'm too lazy to go in there and try to figure out which one is beeping. So it's not annoying enough to me to try to figure it out. So did I get any fire alarms for Christmas? No, I did not. I did get a can of smoke spray, although I didn't get any fire alarm devices necessarily. For the other people in the chat, Jake and everyone else, you can feel free to ask any questions as long as they're somewhat appropriate and not too personal. But have at it. I need another can of smoke spray. You can buy them for like $10 on eBay, so I guess just do that. Looks like we got 6 people watching now, so it's pretty cool. Did I see the inspections? Yes, I did watch a few of them. Um, like I said, a lot of channels I don't check in with them too often just because I don't turn on notifications for that kind of stuff. So I saw a few of them, but I don't know if I've seen all of them yet. Um, yeah, all right. Who all's on here now? We got 6 people. Huh. um, Fire Alarm Guy 13's here. Owen Weber. They were pretty cool. I liked the one with the simplex panel at like the one with all the True Alert speaker strobes that is in like a large hotel or something. I'm not entirely sure where it was, but I like that one. Rainbow Dash 7X. Hello. Any video skills I need to work on? I'm not too sure. I'm not an expert at video production, even though I've made like 100 videos. But usually my videos are just unedited, besides like splicing all the clips together. So I don't know. Do they work, mate? Slobodin. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but is there a whole subculture of people who like fire alarms? Yes, there is actually. There's quite a few of us. We have our own little community in here. Um, it's definitely got its own culture. We got some interesting stuff going on in the community, and there's a lot of us in here that have the same love of fire alarm devices. So I'm glad you came and looked around at it. Here we are. Is it a kink? No, absolutely not. Okay, so funny story. All the people at school who know about it, like the kids at my school, are not very nice a lot of the times, and yeah, they think I'm attracted to them. Definitely not the case. Some people have a link for it, though. I would hope it isn't. Community is great. It's a weird topic to get into. I mean, for most people, it would be considered weird, but it's the same thing. It's part of the kind of like the computer enthusiasts or the electronics enthusiasts can get into this kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's something I like to call like the overall collector community, or the niche community, you could say, and it's very large on the internet, and they're kind of interconnected. People into fire alarms are also members of other niche communities: trains, exit signs, emergency lights, electric fans. I've seen a lot of, all kinds of stuff like that. But it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. Am I special needs? I don't believe so. I'm weird to most people, but I am not special needs. How did I get into fire alarms? That's a long story, but long story short, I've never really been scared of the sound they made, and I was very fascinated by the strobes. And I thought, I've always been kind of a visual person, so the strobes kind of captivated me, and it all just went from there, pretty much. Aren't they all just the same? Actually, they're not. Um, the ones I have in front of me are vintage units. They're from the '80s, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different designs of alarms that you can find. Pretty much every building you go into, you'll see something different, but sometimes if you go to enough places, you will see some common themes of systems that you see. But a lot of buildings you go into will have different types of devices, just depending on when it was built or when it might have been renovated over the years. Am I into security panels much? Not really. Um, if you've seen next to my simplex panel, I have a box for a Vista panel. Although right now it's just being used as a splice cabinet. But my plan is to eventually get a Vista 20p circuit board and mount a keypad on the front of the cabinet. And my plan is to actually use it as a dialer. Am I bullied for this at school? Not too much. Sometimes I am, but I tend to just ignore those people. Vistas are nice, but I'm more of a Radionics Bosch person, though. Alexander's Adventures channel deactive. Definitely. Man, it sounds like you come from a school like mine where kids they're just jerks. Very simple as that. I feel like sometimes I probably come off as a bit of a jerk, probably because I learned that from school. But people at my school are not very nice a lot of the times. Am I a furry? No. I've been picked on a lot for liking fire alarms. It's just something people seem to do. That people pick on everyone who's different, and having interest in fire alarms is no exception to that. So this is the weirdest thing. Yeah, kind of weird. Although I've been on much weirder places on the internet. I'd think if you've seen certain parts of the internet, we'd almost be considered normal. Rainbow Dash 7X. Let me tell you a little story. So, like 3-4 years ago, I decided to tell everyone about my fire alarm stuff. Yeah, I'm still paying for my sins socially. But I don't tell too many people much about it anymore unless they ask about it, which people do sometimes. A lot of my friends will ask about it. But most people these days either don't care or forgotten about it or just don't make much of a fuss about it anymore. So yeah, people don't understand it much. Wow, we got a lot of people watching now. And chat's blowing up. Hard to keep up. At least fire alarm guys get paid good. Hey, if it pays well, by all means, go and do it. I'm looking into being an electrician one day, and fire alarms just kind of cultivated my overall interest in electronic devices. I would call myself like an electrical enthusiast if I had like an overarching hobby. So I've been learning more and more about wiring and electrical theory. So who was scared of mechanical horns, but now you like them? Same here, Alexander's Adventures. None of my schools ever really had them. I actually went to a school where part of the building had these right here, 2901 9833s on 9101 strobe plates. Although it was only a small part of the building and they never went off when I was in that area of the building. So the first alarm I was actually exposed to was I went to a couple of preschools. One of them had True Alerts on like a 4010 system, I think. And I remember one day those went off, and I remember not being scared of them, but I do remember them being really loud. And We actually stood inside a concrete stairway for about a solid minute, and I was standing right underneath a horn strobe. That was brutal. The other one had a notifier system, and it had a third generation SHGs, the ones that have the textured, really bright strobes and sound like commanders. Those were on continuous. Good times. We were chasing a knack open fault and knack trouble at my school. I remember at my middle school, we had one day we had a fire drill, and as we came back into the building, the alarm had cleared, but a knack trouble came up on the annunciator. It said like pad 3 something. It's a Siemens system, so that's a pad 3s are what those knack extenders are called. Theo guy, hi, hello. Who has heard march time with mechanical horns? I had 9838 in march time in elementary school. I have not. I remember my elementary school had a strange mix of alarms. If you follow my Instagram, you can. I have some pictures of it. It was a notifier system 5000 and an MXL tied together. Well, it's all still there, but there was all kinds of stuff there. Too much to count. But it had the 9838 or 9833s, like I mentioned, and the 4251s in the original part of the building. I think it was originally installed with a 4001, but then they expanded, so they put in the 5000. Pretty much the rest of the building has the system sensor masses, mass ADAs, and notifier BG10s. But there's some other stuff thrown in, like the MXL has a lot of UMMTs and MSI 10Bs connected to it. It's a big mess. Rainbow Dash 7X. Ground faults are annoying. I remember one time when I put up my home system like a year and a half ago, I had a short circuit on the IDNet loop, and I couldn't find it. I had to do like a ground fault tracing on the whole thing. It was so annoying. Kansas, did you know the mass ADA strobe have something inside of it? I guess it would have a strobe circuit in it. If you're talking about like inside the strobe body, yeah. A simplex fire alarm guy. It has a potentiometer in it. I I don't know if it has one in there or not. I haven't opened one up yet. Vintage fire alarm guy. Didn't realize you were here. I opened it before. Good job. All right. For some reason, I always mix you up with Kansas fire alarms. Yeah, I don't blame you. So originally, Jake and I, we both had like really like generic, kind of cringy names. So I actually figured out about him through Instagram when he made a post showing a siren test in a county near where I live. And as it turns out, we live pretty close by, only like a half hour away. So we started chatting, and I suggested he change his channel name. So he did. So we took the name Kansas Fire Alarms, and I just took the next best thing. We both live in the northeast Kansas area, kind of by Kansas City. So, yeah. I got some new alarms coming on the way. Nice. What did I get? Vintage? Wait, Rainbow Dash 7X, where'd you find out about me? My channel has blown up quite a bit. Like, I'm almost to 20,000 views now, but the thing that really caused my channel to take off was just one day I decided to make a video. When I got these 2903s, I decided to do an unboxing video of it. It was just a really simple title, Simplex Fire Alarm Unboxing, and it pretty much went viral. And it's still getting a whole bunch of views. It's got almost 4,000 views now, and it just keeps getting more and more views. So, yeah. Then I, about 2-3 weeks after that, I got the 5820 XL and put up the 4008 back in the home system and started the basement system, and it all just kind of took off from there. I'm very happy with how successful my channel has become because it seems like people really like my stuff. So, and just seeing like the curve of views, it's exponential. So I think maybe in the next year I might hit 1,000 subs. I got a panel finally. Nice job. I'm sure if I had the motivation to make videos, I'd get some attention. It's the most generic titles that get you the views. Yeah, I should probably think of a new title for my system tests. But an important thing that I've noticed, I have a few secrets to getting views. It's the same things I do on eBay that get views and has made my selling successful as well. So I made a video a while about opening the system sensor SS strobe and adjusting the potentiometer, but putting the mass back together is a pain to do. I've never tried that. I have a rare Faraday 5509i, another Simplex 2903, and an FCI rebranded Spectra Alert Classic remote strobe, a very rare Wheelock WS1T Halon strobe. Nice. I ordered a Wheelock AS i32WB and a BRK SS24. Good choices. ADT Unimode 5. Nice. Yeah, what are the secrets? Oh, and Weber. That's why they're called secrets. I can't tell you. I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled for a 405080. Dude, I'd love a 405080 so much. It would be like the keystone device in my collection, just because I'm kind of a Simplex nut myself. And speaking of Simplex, I have a bit of a surprise in the Simplex department, like a big surprise. But I need to work out some stuff with it. Simplex fire alarm guy, I need to talk to you with some stuff about that, but not in this chat because I don't want to spoil it. So I would encourage you to join the Groupme, and I can direct message you there. But your choice. Bro, I want to get more views. Make an unboxing video or something. Those kinds of videos tend to be popular. My most popular series actually is is whenever I get the opportunity to test the home system. People really seem to like those videos. The one that I did where I tested everything, that's almost at 1,000 views now. So Simplex fire alarm guy. I'll have to do that. Yeah, you just gotta click the link in my description. You might have to register, but that's easy. You can join the chat. I think you'd like it there. People seem to like my inspections. If that video is popular, and keep putting them up whenever you can. That's all I gotta say about that. Maybe do some more system tests too, because those are always popular. What group? my Groupme chat. I put it in the link, and I put the link in the description of all my videos where it says Groupme. Just click that link, and that's how you join that group. Again, you may have to register, but that shouldn't be too hard. We are planning on renovating my basement in a year or so, and I'll be installing a home system down there with the 4010. Simplex fire alarm guy, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. And I don't know if you can do this or not with the 4010, but you should do the same kind of thing I did with my my Simplex panel. And what you can do is assign like a digital zone and put like NACS 1 and 2 for the home system, and then install a bunch of 4099s and 4098s around the house, and put up like some 9127s, and set the other two NACs aside, put up an IAM and a detector, and possibly like a ZAM for a conventional device, and use the other NACs to make a demo system, all powered by the same panel. It's like having two separate systems. Same thing I did with the 4008. How do you find a short in the fire alarm system in the SLC? Same way you find a ground fault. So what you do is you cut the SLC in half, basically, and if the trouble clears, you know it's on that half of the SLC that got disconnected. If it's not, you know it's on the half that's still connected. And then you just keep breaking it up until you find the short. Same way you find a ground fault. It takes power from the non-resettable power, and the alarm relay triggers the module. Not exactly Alexander's Adventures. That's not exactly how I do that, if you're thinking of that. Hey, Fire Alarm 33, good to see you. What do you mean by breaking it in half? So basically, disconnect about half the devices on the SLC loop and see if the trouble clears. If not, just keep isolating devices and just disconnecting more and more of the stuff until the trouble clears. So then once the trouble clears, you'll know whatever you disconnected, that area is where the trouble is. If that makes any sense. Like if my system started getting an SLC trouble, I'd disconnect the line that goes upstairs first and see if if the trouble cleared, that would tell me the short is upstairs. Any new alarms coming by eBay? I think I have some stuff that I gotta put up on eBay. I haven't really thought too much about eBay lately. Hopefully I'll be able to sell some stuff soon. Having some more alarms for sale soon. Cool. You only have 3 devices on the system. Well, that should be easy to find. That's how it was wired on a panel in my house. Do I have any 4903 devices? I don't have any, like, I don't think I... If you're talking about, like, the 9101 strobe plates, I do have a few of those. I also have several rectangular 4903 devices and a couple of 4903 True Alerts, so... 9202, anyone heard of that model? That is... I have heard of that. That's like an earlier version of the 9219. Alexander's Adventures. I have no Simplex devices, but you sold them. That sucks, but you can always buy more. I wish I had a 9102 and a 9838. I think you can find those on eBay if you really wanted to. Some dude with an exit sign. Hello. Simplex is dangerous for the firelight panels if you don't filter them with batteries. So here's the thing with that. The newer Simplex devices, pretty much all the 4903s, True Alerts, all those, they're not designed to take FWR. what FWR is basically like unfiltered DC. Basically, think of an AC sine wave, but it's just like the peaks. So it's still, well, you can't really see my finger too well, but it still kind of bobs up and down. And it's basically a modified AC signal. And Simplex is not designed to handle those voltage spikes because an AC sine wave at 24 volts can spike at almost 42 volts. And that will slowly fry those devices. So if you're going to use Simplex, use a filtered power supply. Pretty much all NAC extenders use those. So Fire Alarm 33, if you got like a FCPS, that would filter that for you. I think the 4903 strobe plates are safe. I don't know about that. Oh yeah, it's always fun when someone lifts a stopper and they get so confused. Every time that happens at my school, I have to put the stopper back, and everyone thinks I like diffused the fire alarm or something. They thought like, oh, I just magically turned it off. It's like, no, I just put the cover on. I have a Honeywell rebranded Simplex 4030. It's actually pretty cool. That's the only Simplex I have. It's something. It's definitely something. A 4030 is pretty awesome to have. It's really, really loud. I'm sure it is. I'm planning on hopefully getting a new phone. I just got a new phone, actually. My most recent video was recorded on my new phone, and it has significantly better video quality. And I think, like, even with my soft voice, you can hear it pretty easily. Some kid at summer camp years back lifted the stopper, pulled it, and evacuated the whole building. Not good. 4030s are nice. Only mechanical horn I have is a 4051 and I converted to a 4050. I actually have a 4051, but I don't think I've used it in anything yet. If you want to get fire alarms, it's kind of slim, but find someone who manages the building or something and ask them for it. Only time that would really work is if they were upgrading the system and replacing it. You could probably get your hands on some stuff because usually once they're done with an upgrade, they just throw everything away. What kind of new phone do I have? I have a Samsung A51. Whoa, a lot of comments. Would it be possible to wire a 4003 to a 4000? Yes, it is possible. The 4003, the way it's stripped is it just takes a NAC signal. So it's just a continuous 24 volt input. That's all you need for that. I don't have fire alarms. You can buy them on eBay for pretty cheap. My store has a few things. If you want something simplex, I got like 30 4904 strobes I need to get rid of, so 15 viewers. I got UMHUs out of an upgrade. I think I saw that Fire Alarm 33. Yeah. You can basically wire any voice panel to any panel. Yeah. I Jimmy rigged a connection with a half-broken voice panel to my 5820. So, and it works. I got my hands on over 100 plus alarms from my HS when they got rid of them with Gentex Commander Freeze. Honestly, though, if you can get the entire system out of your high school when you do that, that's good for you. That's really nice. I have a 9840 too. I do not have a 9840. I have an LG V20. I have an iPod Touch. iPhone XR. Can the 4003 take FWR? I would not suggest doing that. Can a mechanical horn be on an addressable panel? Yes, I have done that many times. The 5820 and the 4008 are both addressable. It's really about what your NACs can handle. So, yes. Do I have a stopper cover? Yes, I do. It's sitting over by the simplex panel, but I'm not going to go grab that right now. Anything with a conventional knack will work. Yes. The kid at my school said if you touch a horn strobe, it would set the alarm off. That was obviously wrong. I started to tap the EST Genesis in the classroom. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest going around touching horn strobes, but that's not true at all. The only way to set off the alarm is to activate an initiating device. I proved the myth wrong, but almost gave the class a heart attack. How is the house system? It's exactly the same. I'm kind of sitting in the area where, kind of like that sitting area in my basement, and I can look up, and the true alert is still there on the ceiling, and the smoke detector is still there. Everything's all the same. Set the 2903 and 9806 off in 120 beats per minute, like a 4002. I've actually done that before in a basement fire alarm test, where I used this and that pull station on 120 beats per minute march time. It had a back box. I didn't touch the actual thing. Like the device. Uh, they weren't flush mounted because the walls were concrete. They won't go off, but if you touch it and something happens, you could be liable, so be careful. That's just why you don't touch fire alarms. Just don't touch them unless there's an emergency. That simple. 40, 50, 80s are rare AF. I can't find them anywhere. I don't think I've ever seen a 40, 50, 80. Well, I take that back. I did once, and it was that one guy on eBay who tends to sell stuff at ridiculously high prices. So he was trying to sell a 40, 50, 80 for like $500. And I was like, heck no. I tried to hook up an i3 4-wire, but it started smoking, so don't try it at home. Probably just wired it up wrong. You gotta be careful with wiring up devices. If you do it wrong, fire alarms are kind of sensitive electronic devices, and if you do it wrong, they can and often do break. I have broken my fair share of alarms by doing stuff wrong. Okay, so I got a bit of a story. So you guys probably remember when I had a bajillion mass ADAs up on eBay. They were new in box. Well, I took one of them, and right out of the box, I started messing with it. And I didn't break it necessarily. It still works, but I burnt out one of the resistors because I shorted the tone chip to the positive horn terminal, and it blew out a resistor. Started smoking, and the thing smelled like paint for like a week. What's better, the Simplex 4008 or Simplex 4010? Not sure. Haven't really messed around with the 4010 too much. Although I think the 4010 is probably better because they were more popular. 4010 has a few more features than the 4008. 4008 was supposed to be like a small addressable panel. It's the same thing as a 4006, just with an SLC on it, pretty much. If the device is wired wrong, could you get shocked? Probably not. From a 24 volt DC source, you're not going to really feel that if you touch that. You'd probably be able to feel 24 volts AC just because of how AC works. But you won't really get shocked. You'll probably feel it just a little bit. Like you'll feel like a bit of a tingle if you touch a 24 volt DC source, but yeah, it's not going to hurt you. But that being said, electricity can be dangerous, so don't necessarily go messing around with it. If you wire the devices wrong, it won't work. Yep. Am I going to do a New Year's sound off? I might. I did one last year just over Instagram, but I got shocked by a 40 volt capacitor. Biggest mistake of my life. One time I got shocked by a capacitor on the back of a broken True Alert. It was not fun. Like I was holding it, and all of a sudden I felt like a zap, and I like dropped it. It was fun. And since it worked, I promptly put 240 volts through it. Me and my friend took apart a WS1T24 that I bought that came DOA, and we tried fixing it, but its strobe tube died. I got shocked by many capacitors. Okay, so the broken True Alert was a free run remote strobe. What it did is that the strobe tube was broken, so it would try to flash. You'd hear the capacitor click, but it would not fire the strobe, basically. And it was all loose and falling apart anyway, so I just zapped it, and it blew out an inductor, and that was about all it did. Hey, Fahrenheit 4051. Good to see you. Oh, you were trying to fix 7002 series? Nice. 120 volts is dangerous. Yes, it is. Do not screw around with high voltage. Only do it if you're 100% confident in what you're doing. 120 volts does not seem like much, but it can kill you. Fahrenheit 4051. I have a 7002 and a 7002T as well. Thankfully, both of mine work. I actually have a Pyrotronics rebranded one, Pyrotronics 7002T. It's pretty cool. It's like HSD 24, I think, is the model of that. Can you guys guess what happened? A girl in my health class touched the prongs when she plugged in a pencil sharpener. She probably got shocked and probably jumped away from it. If you touch the prong, you'll like jump probably, but that would probably be about it. As long as you weren't like, as long as your feet weren't like directly connected to ground, you'd probably be fine. I have a few 120 volt alarms. I put plugs on them. That's what I do when I have 120 volt alarms. I just hook up a test cord to them pretty much. Is a rebranded Gamewell 7001T are rare? Yes, they are. She got shocked, but she was grounded, so she didn't die. What's your favorite brand of alarms? Simplex, all the way. Yeah, she wouldn't have been grounded because if you were grounded, you would have a lot more current pass through your body going into ground. But if you were isolated from ground, your body's capacitance would have allowed some current to pass through, but not much. So it wouldn't hurt too much. That's why GFCI outlets exist. That is 100% why we have GFCI outlets it's what it does is that it protects the voltage. So if voltage comes out through hot or live and does not return through neutral, and if you have a difference over 5 milliamps, it trips. That's pretty much how it works. My favorite company is Notifier. I tested a GFCI by dropping something in a sink. It worked. Good. I don't know if the outlets in our bathrooms have GFCI. I have to test this. The way I'm gonna test it is by taking the proper resistance of a resistor and then just shorting hot and ground with a resistor, just to prevent from having a full-blown short circuit, but should be enough to trip the GFCI if there is one. And the way I'll be able to tell is I'll just plug in like a light or something. If it goes out, we have GFCI protection. That'd be the safest way to check it. And obviously, I wear Crocs everywhere, as I'm sure you've probably seen. Those are rubber. They'd keep you isolated from ground. My panel is grounded. All of my panels are grounded. The simplex panel is especially important that it's grounded. So it is. If you don't ground something, something is bound to happen. Well, the way something would happen is if the live wire somehow came in contact with something you could touch. And that's why we have grounding. So that way, if something like that happened, it would short and it would pop the breaker. How can you make audible silence without panel? If you have a 4-wire alarm, just hook up the strobe pretty much and just connect the strobe and you'll just have the strobe flashing. If not, you would need the appropriate sync module in order to do audible silence properly, at least. Some devices you can make a fake audible silence by just connecting and disconnecting the power in the correct sequences, but it's not proper. How can you have audible silence without a panel? Same way I just explained. Audible silence, the way it works is most protocols involve cutting the power in specific sequences. So simplex, simplex, simplex. What would happen if one jumper wire wasn't connected to a device and the device went off? Elaborate, please. What's my least favorite fire alarm brand? That's a kind of a tough one. I guess with panels, probably Siemens. Just device-wise, system sensor. Mostly because spectral or advances are gross. Firelight. I forgot about Firelight. I mean, Firelight definitely has some good qualities. It's great for smaller buildings. Like if I were to carry a certain brand, I would carry Firelight just because it's simple, it's usually pretty inexpensive, and it's good for small businesses, smaller facilities. If you were to install a home system, you'd probably want to do a Firelight system just because it's the simplest and it's still got good features on it. Spectral alert advances are overrated garbage. That is very, very, very true. I mean, if you like spectral alert advances, that's fine, but I can see why a lot of people don't, and they've developed quite the negative connotation in the community anyway, so they take an already somewhat despised alarm and made them even worse, pretty much. Fire alarm guy 13, you hit the you nailed that one. That's why a lot of us hate spectral alert advances now. Fire alarm drama, interesting. Good lord. Fire alarm community drama. It's been something that's been a more prevalent problem this year, more than anything, but it's something. There is a guy on Instagram that thinks fire alarms are living things. I think we should not talk about this on this chat just because it's a pretty sore subject among the community. Drama grows as the community gets younger. At least that's what it seems like. Yeah, that's pretty common. I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm on the old end of the community now, just because it seems like people in the community are the people who are getting on YouTube and Instagram are like they're starting to show up as young as 7, 8, 9 years old now. And I'm a teenager, so most people are around my age. There's definitely a few of us that are older, but I feel like I'm in the older, more mature area of the community now. So I'm 25. I'm like a fossil. I mean, I'm 16, so it seems like a lot of us here are like right around my age. I'd say 16 is probably the average age for the people who are more influential in the community, if you know what I'm saying. I've almost divided the history of the community into like three different sections. We're in like the third generation of enthusiasts now. First generation was the people who were on YouTube from like 2006 to like 2012 probably. And then second generation was probably 2012 to 2016, 2017-ish. And then from then till now, this is third generation. So the third generation is definitely an interesting place. So I would call myself a third generation enthusiast. Fahrenheit, I'd actually like to hear your input on that because you've been here for a while. I joined 2019. I'm third gen. Yep. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Fire Alarm Guy 13, second generation. I remember Small Fire Alarm Guy 13. I remember watching Fire Alarm Guy 13 for like the 3 years before I made a channel and being like, ah, cool. He's got stuff. And then here we are. I'm kind of in the ranks with him now. It's kind of fun. First gen would be Ben Schumann. Ha, Ben Schumann. Federal 3T22. Yep. Okay, we don't. Fire Alarm Guy 13, I don't blame you. I mean, if I made a channel, like, I started collecting fire alarms back in like 2016, so yeah. Last year I started with an AC system. Nice. I started collecting around the same time. Yeah. It's kind of fun. So I started collecting in 2016, but I didn't make a channel till 2019. And just one day I just decided to make a channel just for the heck of it. So the only fire alarm people I watch would probably be Kansas, the one I'm watching, Fahrenheit, maybe a few others I forgot. I'm not into fire alarms, that much into fire alarms. Owen Weber. Yeah, we're average age to old probably. But one of the things that's interesting is that I was actually into fire alarms for a very short period of time when I was really young, like 7-ish, back in like 2011. So I can remember a time when New Age Server Alarm was actively uploading videos with his 8005 and Charlie Davidson was still a thing. So I witnessed the first generation, although I was never really part of it. But what I keep seeing now is that there's like an influx of younger and younger people who are part of the community now, and they're putting out their content, and it's just different now. So it's interesting. What was my first alarm? First alarm I got was a 4903 speaker strobe, and it's completely broken now. I don't even know where the speaker is anymore, and the strobe on it got fried because I ran it on a Firelight MS2 for a while, and I can remember the last time it flashed. So it was supposed to be a 15 candela strobe, and it was like 110 for one flash. So I own a 4424B. It used to control my home system until I got the 5820. So then I put the 4008 back up. And man, I almost kind of wish you guys could see the history of my systems from early 2017 up till I started YouTube, and you guys saw all that. So Alex Gaming Life Safety Guy, hello. My first was a 9219. Good choice. I do like the 4903s. Fire alarm 33. Can I do another system test with the voice panel? I might. I mean, the thing with the voice panels, it's kind of a pain in the butt to hook up, so I don't use it very much, although I will probably do some stuff with it eventually, so we'll see. I remembered your old system test. Which one? I guess if maybe all of them. Yeah, I had a few old systems. Um, that board that I have the 5820 on was originally in a different area of my room, and it had my 4008 on it for a while. Um, back before the 5820, I see. Any new alarms for the holidays? Not really. I got a can of smoke spray, but that was the only thing alarm related I got. I did get some cool stuff though, including my new phone. So, annoying neighbors since 2006. New age server alarm. Yes, I remember that. Let's see. let's see what we got here. I got a smoke saber last night. Fire alarm guy 13. I think I saw that on our Instagram group chat. Is that right? I just light a piece of paper on fire and throw it on my floor to test my detectors. I was about to say, please tell me you don't do that. That's a really bad idea. I want alarms for a long time, so my parents wouldn't know until my HS gave it to me when they got rid of them. Nice. Can't say I'd recommend that. That's dangerous. Yep. Would an addressable panel work with thermostat wire, or would it only work with FPL? You could use thermostat wire, although I wouldn't recommend that because it's not meant to be used with fire alarms. If you're going to wire up an addressable panel, I would recommend getting FPL, just because it's the proper wire to use with fire alarms. What's the most interesting fire alarm system I've seen? I would say probably the one that was in my elementary school, just because it was the really mixed one that I talked about earlier in the stream. Florida Power and Light. I use speaker wire. Speaker wire is fine. Why do some people use 120-volt wire? Probably because it's the easiest stuff to come across. Like if you're just gonna go to like Lowe's or Home Depot to buy wire, the thing most people are gonna find is just like a spool of Romex wire. So a lot of people just use that. Although at Lowe's you can actually buy security wire, and you can use that for fire alarms. Fire alarm back boxes. I think, well, you can use normal. Most people just use normal back boxes for fire alarms, even installers, really. Fire alarm 33. That Romex wire won't really damage your system as long as things are wired correctly. It doesn't really matter what kind of wire you use most of the time, but it's not recommended to use Romex for your low voltage wire. It's definitely not up to code. So I need some long screws so I can do a test with my simplex mechanical horn. I think you can go and buy them at like Lowe's probably. You can buy machine screws. That's what they're called. I use metal ones, 4x4 for knacks. Yep. That is what I use. On the basement system, I have a single gang box for the pull station, and there's like a 4x4 square box just like screwed into the piece of plywood that holds the horn strobe. So I only have one wired mold box that I use, and that's on my home system for the horn strobe in the hallway. It's a double gang box, so it holds the horn strobe pretty well. Nice. We hit 69 minutes of stream time. Simplex system with EST Genesis. It's something. Sneak peek. I am using a Genesis device on the next basement test. Not sure when I'm gonna come out with that. Probably later today because I have it recorded, but I haven't published it yet. Is the NS4 rare? I mean, sort of. need to publish my video of the neck trouble. You could probably do that fairly soon, as long as you have it recorded and uploaded. My NS4 needs to be repaired. What's wrong with it? What is my upload schedule? I don't even know what my upload schedule is anymore. I don't really have one. I usually try to shoot for 1 to 2 videos a week. I'd say I can consistently come out with a video every week, I would say. Oh, that shouldn't be too hard to repair. Fire alarm guy 13. What you could always do is just solder a lead wire onto the metal there, I guess, if you wanted to. What is the most painful fire alarm I've installed? Like, which one's the hardest to install? Or I would say one of the hardest ones to install would be this. This guy right here is an absolute pain in the butt to install. I have installed a 4903 9101. It is nothing compared to these 2903s. L series is not weatherproof. That is correct. They are not weatherproof. Fahrenheit 4051, that's just my experience. I found that the 2903s seem to be more of a pain in the butt to install, just because if you're installing it on just a 4x4 back box, you have to always be adjusting wires and stuff, and things like to come undone. It's just my experience. I feel like the 4903 strobe blade is easier to install. I need to get one of those 2975 boxes. I mean, if you could mount them on top of just a 4x4 box, I'd probably get one. Yeah, that's probably why. I would think those 2975 back boxes would make things a lot more convenient, although I haven't gotten around to buying one. I feel like I should get one and mount this unit on it, because I feel like that would look really cool. What computer am I using for the stream? I'm using my school-issued MacBook. It allows me to run a YouTube stream, and I find that easier than streaming on my phone. Although I'm reading the chat off my phone, because I do not want people to be able to see my face anymore. Which is why I actually set my old stream to unlisted. Plus, I saw Simplex Fire Alarm Guy's stream, and I just decided, you know, why not? I'll do a stream just for the heck of it. And I took his video format, so thanks, man. Fire Alarm 33. What you can do is go to YouTube Studio, and there should be like a create button, and then you can hit go live, and then you can use your webcam for that. Haha, no problem. You lock E50 or E70? I don't have an E50, but I do have an E70, so for now I'll have to go with E70. What's the most easy fire alarm to install? I hate to say it, but probably the Spectre Alert Advance. Even though they're like overall my least favorite alarms. Other than that, I'd say the What was I thinking of? I'd say pretty much anything that just has terminals on the back and you can just screw onto the wall are pretty easy to install. How do you get more viewers and subscribers? Um, Fire Alarm 33 for you specifically, I would say don't do premieres. Do not do premieres. Just because what I've learned with premieres is that when you have it just kind of hovering over you, people are like, oh, cool, that's happening, you know, 3, 4 days in advance, and then they don't end up coming back to it, you know? So if you just had your videos publish, then people would see that and then just click on your video and watch it. And I think that would probably get you some more views. I don't know how many subscribers you're up to now, but you seem to be growing. So that's my suggestion for you. How many fire alarms do you own in total? I have no idea. At least it's like about 300, I think. I have quite a few of them. I've been collecting for a while. A rule of thumb is that if you've seen it on eBay, I own it. How do I get more views? I'm not sure exactly. I would say probably upload more often. Make sure your videos aren't too generic. Make sure you have unique things come out periodically. Maybe have a poll on your channel or something so your existing subscribers can see what they want to see, you know, and just ask, you know. Yeah, just hold a poll. I bet I sold off duplicates. Actually, I have quite a few duplicates. Um, when I say 300 devices, I do not own 300 unique devices. I own probably 200 unique devices. But I do have several devices. Like when you see something on eBay, I probably own at least 2 of them. Because having 2 of something is kind of nice. Yes, I was. I think I kept 4 of those just because they were new in box. I kept several of them that I'm just going to leave in their boxes forever and never do anything with it just because I kind of wanted to preserve them, you know? How do you get the budget for all of that? Well, selling on eBay is pretty lucrative. You can make a good amount of money doing that, and basically the money from eBay goes back and feeds this fire alarm stuff. Fire Alarm 33, that's the same thing I went over earlier. The strobes especially are not designed for that. What's my favorite panel that I own? Probably my 4008. Seems like I got it from you. I took it apart and curious to see if it had a penetration or it's worth a try. I have not taken apart one of those masses before, um, so I'm not sure. How do you hold a poll? Um, what you could always do is make like a Google form and then make a video saying, "Hey, I got a Google form," and then put the link in the description. That's what I would do if I were you. I wonder why Simplex discontinued the 4008. Probably because they had other stuff they came out with. They came out with all their ES stuff, so it's probably why. See you later, Owen. They do still have the 4006. That's their conventional panel. I guess they didn't really need the 4008 because all it really is the it's a small addressable version of the 4006. Do I plan on getting any more panels? The only time I really get panels is when they come up for a good deal. I actually need to get rid of some panels because I have like a whole bunch of them I don't really use anymore. Like I think I'm gonna sell my 4424 probably. Um, do I run a Discord server or do I play Roblox? I have a Discord server. Um, Fire Alarms of Northeast Kansas official. Um, it's actually spelled Fire Alarms of NEKS official. And let's see. Do not play Roblox. I do not play Roblox. I have the Groupme page, obviously. That's for fire alarm stuff. And I'm also on Instagram. All three of those links are in every single one of my videos descriptions. I haven't added it to this video just because I'm live, but I probably will after I end the stream. So those are my socials that involve fire alarms. What panels do I have? Well, a couple of them. So let's start with the two that you guys see the most. I have my 5820 and my 4008. I have the Simplex 2001. I have the voice panel, the notifier voice panel, under the Silent Night panel. I have a Firelight MS4, a Firelight MS4424B, a 5-zone fire shield, a 3-zone fire shield board, like an auto call panel board. It's like the 2001, but it's like rebranded by auto call. I have a board for that, and the cards as well. What am I missing? And I have an MS2 board. Yes, auto call MD2. Am I planning on doing another test with the 4424B? One thing I'm looking into doing is possibly like just setting up systems like on my bed or something, and just periodically doing test videos with those, putting up a pull station, a porn strobe, and a smoke detector or something. Doing that like my fire shield and my 2001, the MS4, 4424, all those panels, possibly. I tried to look at your socials, and for Discord, doesn't show anything on my channel page. Am I ever going to test 2001? I have tested that on a video before. I'm not sure. If you guys want to see it again, I can do another video with it for sure. Maybe I'll show some stuff with that. But I don't plan on changing those devices really ever. It's really just got one of these and a pull station like this. But yeah, I can do tests with the other panels if you want me to, but not during this stream. So with the socials, my Instagram is private just because, again, people from my school. They found my last one, so I had to cancel that and make a new one. So it's private now. And I don't know why you wouldn't be able to see my Discord unless you're not on Discord. Maybe. How much did you pay for the 2001? I actually got a really good deal on mine. I got it almost a year ago. I got it in January of 2020 for $50. Um, 120 volt FCI MS6. If it's rated for 120 volts, you can probably hook it up to your panel just fine because the pole station is just a switch, so it does not supply any power. Yes, I should be able to add you. If you give me your Discord tag, yes. All right. I will add you after the stream. I'll have to look back through the chat after this, but I should be able to do that. All right, cool. I probably did. I'm not very good with pronouncing names, especially when it's like, weird YouTube channel names. So, oh, the AOL guy. I'm afraid to connect my 120 volt MS6. Are you talking about the MS6 pole station or is it something else? Fire alarm 33. If check the voltage ratings. If it's the pole station, it'll probably say like 120 volts and then like probably 0.5 amps, and then it's probably like 30 volts, 0.5 amps as well. It's probably the contact ratings on the switch. I mess with the 7001T and don't recommend doing any of this, but if you put your finger near the diaphragm and press it, the strobe will flash like crazy. I actually have seen examples of that happening. There's a really old video on YouTube of a 7002T on a demo system where the screws were too tight, and yes, the strobe was sporadic on that. And I'd imagine it's probably because of the same thing you were describing. The 7002Ts were finicky that way. I would say the worst fire alarm out there that I've owned, at least, is probably a Spectre Alert Advance. I'm just not a huge fan of them. I've seen a Notify rebrand 34T24. Cool. Um, I've done that before too. So something funny you can do with advances is that if you like cut the power really quickly to it and spam it on and off like for a second, do it about 10 times probably. It'll give out like a really weird chirp, and you can make the strobe flash like 5 times a second, and the horn will sound weird. It's kind of fun. I think I did that when I was like trying to make it do audible silence without the panel or something. So made it do fast march time. It's like an old smoke alarm sound in the '90s, pretty much. Yeah, that's about right. Um, all right. Um, what does my local mall have? Um, so I guess I got a couple answers to that. So there isn't a mall really close to where I live anymore. There's a mall kind of somewhere near downtown, and I believe they have like an EST addressable system of some sort. It's like an EST3, I think, and they have like speakers of some sort. I can't even remember. But there used to be a mall near my house, although it was closed and torn down several years ago. Look up, well, if you guys want to know what it's called, I'll tell you about it. If you guys kind of like, urban exploration and dead malls and stuff like that, I can tell you what the place is called and you can look at it. But looking at pictures of it, I think they had Wheelock MTs there. Um, to give you an idea of how new the place was, the MTs were actually original. At least they look like they were either MTs or possibly like, um, or are they like those older Cerberus Pyrotronics horn strobes with the vertical strobes that look kind of like the MTs. Did I scrap the system? No, I did not. It was long before that. This mall got torn down in 2016, and this was when I was a lot younger and before I would have been into fire alarms anyway. So even if I was into them, I highly doubt I would have been able to go in and scrap them. But this mall was called the Great Mall of the Great Plains. If you guys are interested in like dead malls and stuff like that, there's some interesting content about it on the internet just because it was perhaps the most '90s mall ever created. So, if any of you guys have heard of that place, yeah, I used to live pretty near where it was. It was like about 5 miles from where I live. Have I ever went dumpster diving for fire alarms? No, I have not. Um, 4903, True Alerts, 2903, Spectre Alert Classics, a single advance in the L series and the Target. It's quite a mess. Simplex stuff is cool, and you got that Spectre Alerts and stuff. So All right, I'm a peace out. It was a pleasure to speak with you guys, including Kansas. Have a happy new year and a safe one, y'all. It's good to talk to you, the AOL guy. What's your rarest besides the 2903? Let me think about that one for a second. I mean, probably, that's actually a hard one. I would say probably my Edwards. I have a couple versions of the 892. I have the 892 2B and an 895001, I think is what the model of that one is. It's like it has an adaptahorn type horn on it, but it looks like an 892, but it's got like a mechanical horn on it. Sounds like a 24-volt adaptahorn. I'm yet to use that one, so I think I'm going to put that mechanical 892 up at some point. My rarest is a 4903 9222. Isn't that the white version of the 9219? The Lloyd Center is a simplex system with 4904 strobes and true alerts. Cool. White version of the 9215. Cool. Okay, so funny story. So you know how there's been a massive influx of everyone seems to have a 9215 now because that one guy was selling them? I remember that lot being on eBay, and I really what ended up happening is it was a bidding war between me and that guy who ended up getting them. So, fun fact, I almost got the 9215s. My local mall has a vintage simplex system with a new EST section and a store with an LCD simplex system. EST systems seem to be really common at malls for some reason, but I don't know. That mall I was talking about that got torn down, I think the most likely panel that place had would have been probably a Cerberus Pyrotronics MXL, just because it was built in like 96 or 97, I think. And Cerberus Pyrotronics was popular in my area at that time. So, yeah. EST is garbage. Not in Portland, Oregon. My mall has a mid-90s simplex system with 9217s, 9238s, and 9840s. Cool. Why did the mall shut down? Well, just because the location wasn't really that great, and the place was huge. It was a single-story building that it was almost 1 million square feet, so massive. It wasn't really convenient for anyone, so, and it very quickly became outdated, so people just stopped going. So eventually they ran out of money and had to close. Simplex has gotten cheaper over these years. Actually, if anything, they've gotten more expensive, but yes, they have become more and more cheaply produced. It's Siemens, Washington Square, Notifier, Clackamas Town Center, and Simplex Lloyd Center. That's literally the 3 big mall in Oregon. My old school Siemens system went off because of gas. No EST to be found. Thanks for such a great live stream. You're very welcome, Fire Alarm 33. All right. Well, it looks like the chat's starting to die down quite a bit, so we've been going for almost 2 hours now. So I think this is a good place to end the stream. So I want to thank you all for joining, and yeah, it was fun having this stream. It was just something I just randomly decided to do. So with that said, I want to thank you all for watching. If you're watching it later, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my links in my description. I'll be adding them as soon as the stream is over. Thank you, and have a great day.